Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday. We actually have a thought piece scheduled to drop this upcoming Sunday, so definitely be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you're looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, and we provided you with access to a few links down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And our topic of discussion today is mental health. And the conversation around mental health, I want to talk about thinking critically about intentionality. And I think that this is so important because I'm very big on intentionality. I try to engage with everyone, with everything, with every experience, with as much presence as possible. And presence and intentionality go hand in hand. It's hard to be present if you're not being intentional. And when you're being intentional, you're being mindful about the ways that you engage, and you're also being mindful about what is driving the motivations behind how everyone else around you is engaging. And this is really important because it enables us to really practice on those critical thinking muscles that we need in order to navigate complex settings and to avoid experiences that are not that great. And a lot of the time when we take everything at face value, then it can be the recipe for a lot of experiences that we could have avoided in the future. And I'm very big on prevention over cure. So when it comes to consequences, when it comes to results, and a lot of this I'm pulling from my professional experience, impact outweighs intent. And so a lot of the times it is the case that when we're thinking about intentions, is when we're investigating something that has gone a little bit wrong, and we want to get a sense as to, well, was there malicious intent? Was there an intention to harm here? And a lot of the times when it comes to things going wrong in our lives, it's not for the most part due to malicious intent. It's to do with carelessness. And so I'm always very, very big on intention. I'm very big on whether or not the intent was to harm or was it just a misplaced intention. But I think that overall, when you're thinking about being self-preservative, and I am very big on when it comes to mental health, it's less about maintaining mental illness, it's more about promoting mental health. And how we do that is we navigate with caution. We are precautious. And why we're precautious? Because prevention is always better than cure. And how you prevent yourself from being exposed to harm is by really making a point to gauge the intention of the people around you and wanting to make sure that they're approaching the situation with the same intention as you are, or at least with a disclosed intention, with an intention that is clear, that is transparent, and that if you're agreeing to it, you know what it is that is at stake, essentially. And a lot of the times that's really not the case. You're kind of navigating a bit of a nebulous territory where a lot of the times people's intentions are partially hidden. They're keeping their cards very close to them. And if that intention isn't to harm you or isn't going to accidentally, in carelessness, be something that creates an environment where you are harmed, then that's fine, but that's your responsibility to carry. And so as someone who is very big on intention, I am very big on putting the responsibility on myself to gauge the intentions of the people around me in order for me to set myself up for success. So it's less about the action or the behavior. A lot of people can engage in great actions and in great behaviors with the absolute worst intentions. And so how you gauge intention is you really just need to give yourself the time to assess and to think critically about where this is coming from and where this is going. And all of that is always very well packed in a lot of the different messaging and the different contexts of the situation that you find yourself in. And I think that if you are someone who has big dreams, you want to go to big places, sometimes even that is enough for someone to approach you with negative intention. Having that ambition, having that drive, having that motivation, you need to protect it, but being very mindful about the kinds of intentions that can garnish. And I think that we need to recognize that how we engage and how we are is going to create a subset of intentions in the people and the environments that we're in. And if we're big on growth and if we're big on development and on pursuing excellence, people who don't have that intention might decide then to thwart all the ways that you want to grow and you want to excel and you want to develop. And so it's an interesting dynamic. There's a lot of people who are comfortable with the place that they're in, and a lot of people who feel stuck in the place that they're in. And so those who feel stuck want other people to feel stuck. It's kind of that adage, misery loves company. And so you need to recognize like what of your company is miserable and might have an issue with the progress that you have, and as a result of that have negative intentions towards you. And this isn't to paint everything with a very dark lens. It's more so to be realistic about the terrain, about the social climate that you're navigating. And a lot of us are navigating a social climate where people are unsure, where they're insecure, where they operate from a place of scarcity. So they have this scarcity mindset where they think that what you gain is their loss. And it's a very, very dangerous game to play if you're coming from a place of growth and development where there's expansion there, but you're operating with individuals who have more of a scarcity mindset where they see your gain as their loss. And that's not something that you can try to persuade someone to think outside of. Like, that's a lens that people can adopt and can remove on their own, but it's not a lens that I'm going to personally try to persuade people to discard. I'm instead going to protect myself against that mindset. And so a lot of the times it is the mindset that people approach the world in that will give you a baseline sense of their intentions in general, not just to you, but to the people all around them that are playing in the same pools that they're playing in, that have the same general desires, goals, and ambitions that they have. If someone is operating from a scarcity mindset, recognize that if you're in the same pool, that can create a certain degree of undercurrent and of friction that is not going to be great if you're blindsided by it. So I think when it comes to mental health, gauging intention, not just operating from a place of intentionality, but also being very mindful and careful when it comes to assessing and evaluating the intentions of the people around you, so that you're not necessarily putting yourself in a position where you're going to have to do a lot in order to recalibrate some of the loss that is a byproduct of stepping into situations that are not going to serve you, and then having to figure out a way how to get your footing from there. So I want to have that conversation because I think intention, we can talk a lot about being mindful, about being intentional in our own ways of being and presenting and in our state of mind, but it's also very important to be cognizant that none of us live in a vacuum. We're always being bombarded by the intentions and by the mindsets and by the attitudes and beliefs of the people around us. We have to navigate with clarity and with the desire to get a sense as to, well, what are the intentions of the people that I'm bringing with me or that are around me? And with those intentions in mind, how do I operate from a place of prevention and not cure? How do I safeguard myself in a way where I'm not exposing myself to experiences that I don't necessarily need in order to grow and expand in this life? So that's what I wanted to come here and have a conversation with you about today. To be very mindful, very careful about intentions when it comes to the extensions of the people around you. Now, as it relates to my stalking situation, still ongoing, lots going on behind the scenes, I'm sure, but nothing that I can communicate as yet. But you will be the first to know when there's something to share. So thank you so much for tuning in. That is it, but not all, and I look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.